The peaceful mining colony of New Haven sits on the edge of known space. The colonists work quietly, extracting rare crystals from the planet's crust. Life moves slowly here. Families tend their gardens, children play in the streets, and the elderly share stories under twin suns. Then the raiders come. The black ships appear without warning, blotting out the stars. They are the Void Hunters, a savage race that takes what they want and destroys the rest. Their vessels rain death from above, while ground forces storm through the colony's simple defenses. Commander Blake leads the colony's small security team. They fight hard, but are badly outnumbered. The raiders have advanced weapons and show no mercy. Blake watches helplessly as his people fall around him. In the communications center, Tech Officer Kane sends out a desperate message across all frequencies. It's a simple SOS: coordinates, casualty reports, and a plea for help. The message travels through space, bouncing off relay stations and spreading across the galaxy. The established powers receive the call. The Galactic Council debates in their towers. The Trade Federation counts the cost of intervention. The military alliance weighs strategic value against resources. All find reasons to delay, to discuss, to wait. But there is another listener. Deep in human space, Captain Ross picks up the signal aboard the destroyer Iron Fist. Humans are newcomers to the galactic community, viewed as primitive and aggressive by the older races. They have no seat on the council, no voice in Federation matters. Ross doesn't care about politics. He hears fear in that transmission, sees the casualty numbers climbing. His crew gathers around him as he plays the message again. "Sir," asks pilot Davis, "what are your orders?" Ross looks at the star charts. New Haven is far from human territory, deep in neutral space. No treaties require their aid. No agreements bind them to act. "Set course for New Haven," Ross says quietly. "Maximum speed." The bridge falls silent. They all understand what this means. They are going into unknown danger, outnumbered and alone. All ships, this is Iron Fist. Ross broadcasts to the small human fleet nearby. "We have a distress call. Anyone willing to answer it, follow my lead." One by one, the replies come back. Destroyer Steel Rain, Cruiser Hammer Blow, Transport, Supply Line. Even the old frigate Last Stand powers up its engines. As the human ships disappear into hyperspace. The galaxy's powers continue their debates. Asterisk on New Haven. The situation grows. Worse by the hour. The Void Hunters have landed in force, their dark armor gleaming as they march through burning streets. They move with cruel efficiency, herding survivors into holding areas. Commander Blake leads a desperate fighting retreat through the colony's outer districts. His remaining security forces, barely 30 soldiers, use hit-and-run tactics to slow the enemy advance. They save who they can, but for every life preserved, 3 more are lost. The raiders seem to enjoy the hunt. Their leader, War Chief Grix, laughs as his forces corner groups of fleeing civilians. The Void Hunters have done this countless times before. They know how it ends. Blake's team takes shelter in an old warehouse on the colony's edge. Medical Officer Lee tends to the wounded while Engineer Park tries to restore power to their equipment. Supplies run low. Ammunition dwindles. "Any word from the outside?" Blake asks Kane, who hunches over a damaged radio. Kane shakes his head. The Galactic Council is still in session. The Federation says they need more data. The military alliance wants to study the situation first. Blake closes his eyes. He has seen enough wars to know what these delays mean. By the time help arrives, if it arrives, New Haven will be nothing but ash and memories. Outside, Grix addresses his warriors. The war chief stands over 8 feet tall, his scaled skin marked with ritual scars. His voice carries clearly through the smoke-filled air. "The prey runs scared," he growls. Tonight we finish this. Take what has value. Earn the rest. The Void Hunters roar their approval, raising weapons toward the darkening sky. In the warehouse, a child begins to cry. Blake holds the young girl. Close, whispering promises he fears he cannot keep. Around them, the survivors huddle together as explosions light the horizon. Kane suddenly straightens at his radio. "Commander," he whispers, "I'm getting something." Blake hurries over. Through the static comes a voice human, speaking in heavily accented English. "New Haven Colony, this is Captain Ross of the Earth vessel Iron Fist. We received your distress. Call. Hold your position. Help is coming." The warehouse falls silent. Then someone laughs bitter and desperate. "Earth?" asks Lee. "The humans? But they're nobody. They don't even have council status." Blake stares at the radio. In the distance, War Chief Grix continues his victory speech, unaware that the game has changed. The human fleet drops out of hyperspace at New Haven's edge. 12 ships in total, not much by galactic standards, but they move with purpose. Captain Ross studies the tactical display as his bridge crew calls out reports. 18 Raider vessels in orbit, announces sensor operator Kim. Ground forces estimated at 2,000. They've got the colony surrounded. The Void Hunter ships detect the newcomers immediately. War Chief Grix receives the report aboard his flagship, the Death's Edge. He examines the human vessels with mild interest. "Earth ships," reports his lieutenant. "Small force. Primitive technology." Grix nods. The humans are known throughout the galaxy as an aggressive but backward species. They fight with crude weapons and simple tactics. The War Chief has heard stories humans who refuse to surrender, who fight past all reason. "Send a warning." Grix orders. "Tell them to leave or be destroyed." The message reaches Ross within minutes. The human captain listens to the translator convert the alien words into rough English. "Depart now or share the fate of these colonists." Ross looks around his bridge. His crew waits for orders, faces grim but determined. They all volunteered for this mission, knowing the odds. "Open a channel to all ships," Ross commands. The communication array activates, linking every human vessel in the fleet. "This is Captain Ross to all commanders. We came here to answer a distress call. Those people down there asked for help, and we're going to give it to them. The Raiders want us to leave." He pauses. "I say, we show them what happens when you threaten. Innocent people in front of humans." The replies come back immediately. Steel Rain ready for action. Hammerblow standing by. Last stand locked and loaded. Ross nods. "All ships engage at will. Target the Raider fleet. Marines, prepare for ground assault." The battle begins with human precision. The destroyers Iron Fist and Steel Rain dive toward the enemy formation, missiles streaking from their tubes. The cruiser Hammerblow provides covering fire as transports. Move toward the planet. Grix watches in amazement as his ships take damage. Human weapons may be primitive, but they hit hard. 2 Raider vessels explode in quick succession. "Impossible," he snarls. "They're just humans." On the surface, the Void Hunter ground forces suddenly find themselves under attack from multiple directions. Human drop pods slam into the colony's outskirts, disgorging squads of Marines in powered armor. Sergeant Cole leads Alpha Squad through the burning streets. His team moves with practiced efficiency, their assault rifles chattering as they engage. Raider patrols. The humans fight differently than other species. They advance under fire, take casualties, and keep coming. "Contact front," calls Corporal White. A group of Void Hunters has taken position in a collapsed building. Cole doesn't hesitate. Grenades out. "Follow me in." The building erupts in explosions. Cole's squad charges through the smoke, finding the raiders stunned and scattered. The fight is brief and brutal. Meanwhile, Commander Blake's surviving security forces hear the sounds of battle growing closer. Through his radio comes a new voice. "Colonial forces, this is Sergeant Cole, Earth Marines. What's your position?" Blake can barely believe it. "We're in Warehouse District 7. About 30 survivors here. Copy that? Hold tight. We're coming to get you." As human Marines fight their way through the colony, the space battle rages overhead. Grix realizes his forces are losing. These humans fight like madmen, accepting losses that would break other species. "All ships, prepare to withdraw," he orders. Captain Ross has anticipated this. The human fleet has positioned itself to cut off escape routes. There will be no running from this fight. The battle for New Haven reaches its peak as human forces press their attack on all fronts. In orbit, the space engagement turns desperate as war. Chief Grix watches his fleet crumble under sustained human fire. The Raider flagship, Death's Edge, shudders under missile impacts. Grix grips his command throne as damage reports flood in. 3 more Raider vessels break apart under human guns, their crews screaming as they die in the vacuum. "War Chief," calls his lieutenant. "We must withdraw. The humans fight like demons." Grix snarls. He has raided dozens of worlds, broken countless species. But these humans refuse to follow the rules. They should have fled when threatened. Instead, they came with fire and fury. Captain Ross watches the tactical display from the Iron Fist. His ship has taken damage hull breaches on 3 decks, weapon systems failing, but his crew fights on. Around him, officers coordinate the assault with cold precision. Steel Rain reports heavy damage, announces Communications Officer Park. They're losing power to main guns. "Tell them to fall back," Ross orders. Hammer Blow will cover their withdrawal. The cruiser moves forward, its massive guns speaking in thunder. The human fleet may be outgunned, but they make every shot count. Another Raider ship dies in nuclear fire. On the planet's surface, Sergeant, Cole's Marines have broken through to the warehouse where Blake's people wait. The reunion is brief outside. Void Hunter reinforcements gather for a final assault. How many Raiders are left? Blake asks. Cole checks his scanner. Maybe 800. They're pulling back to the spaceport, probably trying to reach there. Transport ships. Blake nods grimly. "My people can guide you through the colony. We know every back street, every shortcut." The combined human colonial force moves through New Haven like a steel storm. They clear buildings with grenades and gunfire, showing the Raiders no mercy. The Void Hunters, used to terrorizing helpless civilians, find themselves facing trained soldiers who hit back twice as hard. War Chief Grix makes a desperate decision. He takes his personal shuttle to the planet's surface, landing near the spaceport with his elite guard. If he can hold the landing zone long enough, some of his forces might escape. The final confrontation comes at sunset. Human Marines and Colonial. Security forces surround the spaceport while overhead, the space battle reaches its climax. Grix stands among his warriors, his ceremonial armor gleaming in the dying light. "Today we show these humans what it means to face the void." He roars. When the attack comes, it's not what he expects. The humans don't charge blindly into battle. Instead, they use tactics, flanking maneuvers, suppressing fire, coordinated assaults that tear his formation apart. Sergeant Cole leads the final push, his squad advancing under cover of artillery fire from the ships above. The Void Hunters fight desperately, but they're surrounded and outgunned. Grix himself falls to Blake's pistol, the Colonial commander putting 3 rounds center mass into the War Chief's chest. The Raider leader looks surprised as he dies, unable to understand how primitive humans defeated his mighty Raiders. In orbit, the last Raider ships attempt to flee. Captain Ross gives the order that echoes across human space. let none escape. They chose this fight when they attacked innocents. The human fleet pursues relentlessly. By dawn, not a single raider vessel remains intact. The Void Hunters' terror of the Outer Rim have been utterly destroyed. 3 days after the battle, New Haven begins to heal. Human medical teams work alongside colonial doctors to treat the wounded. Engineers from the fleet help repair damaged infrastructure, while Marines maintain security patrols. Commander Blake stands in the colony's central square, surveying the reconstruction efforts. Captain Ross approaches, his uniform still bearing scorch marks from the fighting. Final casualty report, Ross says quietly. We lost 43 Marines and crew. The colony lost 300 civilians. Blake closes,